I have looked at everything. I have written 12 different diet books. I've looked at all the very best diets out. Just never seen anything this effective. I mean, look at me right here. I was a pretty lean 208. I want to get down to 188 for bike racing and whatnot, and it was the easiest thing I ever did. And just one key thing to keep in mind, and that's because you feel so unbelievably through the 60-day Mila challenge. It's a 2-minute start. Out at Shine, and we're going to have a video up of this, I asked a young lady to come up, and I said, why is it you don't eat breakfast? And she said, I don't have time. I said, do you have 2 minutes? Because if you have 2 minutes, a little less, I can do it at 1:30, you can prepare the Mila shake that is the challenge, that is the basis of this challenge. It's easy to do. It's fast. Everybody has the time to do this. Now, we also call it a 2-day breakthrough. Why? Because within 2 days, if your doctor were measuring basic things like your fasting blood sugar level, those were already starting to come down. We also call it a 2-week makeover because at the end of those 2 weeks, if your doctor were to look at your triglycerides and your cholesterol and other key metabolic factors, there'd be a significant change there. You'll also find there's a significant weight loss, significant enough that we actually warn people not to lose too much weight. We had one of our best losers lose 6.8 pounds in the first week, and we just caution you to try to stay to that 2 to 3 pound per week. We do caution you that this is the most effective weight loss you've ever found, ever seen, so do be careful with it. Lastly, it is a 2-month challenge because we want you to have a goal. We want you to know that at the end of 60 days, you're going to be very close to the weight you'd like to be. You'll have lost substantial weight. You'll feel the best you ever have. You've said it, I've said it, but the wonderful thing about this is, you really do feel the best you've ever felt in your whole life. I say it every day. People come and say, how do you feel? I say, best I've ever felt. They go, why? I go, Mila. Now, why is Mila the best? Well, first of all, you feel really full. The one characteristic of everybody who takes Mila on a regular basis is that, you just don't feel like eating. So it gives you the ultimate control over your appetite. Secondly, super nutrients. You're going to see that the amount of nutrients you're putting into your body are absolutely staggering. In terms of health, there's just nothing like it. And it's eat more to weigh less. You're going to be putting a lot of food into your stomach, a lot of nutrients into your stomach, and you're going to feel full instead of empty. Again, if you think of just one thing here, we're doing the job for you. This diet is doing the job for you. So why does Mila work so well? Well, it gives you calm energy. When you look at Jimbo and Sherry, who are really two of my great models, role models in life. Look at Kimmy as an example. Lots of energy there, but it's calm energy. It's not frantic energy. It's not nervous energy. It's calm energy. We're going to see how it douses the fire inside. It makes your brain feel great. It smooths out your blood sugar so you're not feeding the fat. And by that, what I mean is that as your blood sugar goes up and down all day long, it's like an emergency for your body. So your body goes, how do I get rid of this? Well, the way you get rid of it is you dump it into fat. So we stop doing that. And finally, it kills your hunger. So why don't other diets work, or why don't they work very long? And a big reason is that your metabolism falls. It plummets, so you just don't feel that well. You have staggering levels of inflammation, which we'll get to. You have insatiable nutrient hunger. You may have eaten a lot of food, but you still have this nutrient hunger that makes you still want to eat. You're running empty on empty. You eat food, it washes through your system, and you're empty on empty. And one of the neatest concepts is carb bomb. So let's get to it. There are 5 steps here, and you can write them down. We'll have this deck available to you. I want you to focus on these 5 reasons you're going to lose weight. These come from the very, very best researchers in the world, from Massachusetts General Hospital, from the Department of Nutrition at Harvard, unbelievably great scientists who have dedicated their lives. So 5 principles. I'll go through them one by one. Fill her up. You're going to fill full 24 hours a day. Pour on the nutrients. Dump the carb bombs. Douse the flamethrowers. And make your brain feel great. So let's go through these. So first of all, fill her up. If you remember just one single slide, remember this one. On the left-hand side, you can see a stomach on another diet. It's empty. You put some food into it, it empties quickly. Look at what your stomach looks like on Mila. It's full. Put meal in a glass, add some water into it, and you'll see that it grows to 7 to 10 times its size. Well, that's happening in your stomach. And as you know, the most successful weight loss out there is stomach surgery. Well, what does it do? It basically decreases the available amount of your stomach for food. Well, Mila is able to do that in a very physiologic, natural way by occupying that space in your stomach so you just plain feel full and there's not any room for a lot of other food. Secondly, you pour on the nutrients. So let's start with phase 1, pouring on the nutrients here. What does it look like? This is the 2-minute Mila smoothie. I can make this in less than 2 minutes right here in my kitchen. Mila, Greek yogurt, kale, blueberries, honey, or stevia. Now, you can do variations on this. There have been some questions on this. It doesn't have to be Greek yogurt. For instance, you could use almond milk. You don't have to have kale, but kale is called the new steak. It has more protein in it, more quality protein than steak does, in fact. It's got an amazing amount of nutrients in there, and it's what we call hiding your vegetables. I'm not the biggest vegetable fan, but I put it in this smoothie in the morning with some blueberries and a little sweetener, and I don't taste the kale at all, and I'm able to get a lot of really super veggies in there. The basics are that you have the Mila in here. So I want to give you a sense about why we're pouring on the nutrients when you have this Mila smoothie. And to be totally clear about what the program is, in phase 1, you're having a Mila smoothie for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. So you could prepare all of them first thing in the morning when you get in. If you want to get them up, put it in a thermos, take it to work. You could prepare them individually. But it's 3 Mila shakes a day, replacing your regular meals. And we're going to tell you why that's so important. Now, let's take a look at an all-American meal. Burger with cheese, large fries, large soft drink, 1,623 calories, more than anybody should have for a whole day on a diet. Now, there's a scale for nutrients called Andy. The top food, kale, gets 1,000 just for 1 serving of kale. This all-American meal gets 19. Now, this is what we mean about nutrient hunger. You could have this big meal, and you're still famished. It's washed through your system, and you've got basically no nutrients to speak of. Now look at a healthy meal. This might be what someone's trying to lose weight on. Got half the calories here, but the Andy score is still only 200. Now look at this. Here is the Mila smoothie. 1 scoop of Mila, 1/2 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, 1/2 cup of blueberries, 2 cups of raw kale, 314 calories, 32.28 on the Andy scale. Remember, we only had about 32 for the all-American meal, 100 times more nutrients. One of the big things we're doing with this Mila challenge is we are satisfying your nutrient hunger, so you're not constantly starving for those key minerals, vitamins, phytochemicals that are so terribly important to how we feel great. Now, number 3 is to dump the car bombs. But car bombs are the number 1 reason we're overweight. Number 1. And this is research that was done at Harvard. But it's the number 1 reason why women are obese and have diabetes in America. To give you a sense of this, on a car bomb scale, instant mashed potatoes get 120, Mila gets 1. If you look at car bombs, here's where most middle-aged women get fooled. They think and they look at their diet and they can't find anything wrong with it. Nothing. They look and they say, I'm eating all the right stuff. I just can't figure out what's wrong. Trust me, it's having multiple servings of moderately or seemingly moderate carbohydrates that cause weight gain. I'm going to show you these, but keep that in mind. Seems moderate, seems fine, but these car bombs are why we're fat. Here's an example. On the right-hand side here, you'll see that we want to have a total of 50 points for our carb load for the day. Starbucks bagels already give us 25 of those. We add in a whole wheat pretzel, we're over the score limit already, just with 2 simple servings of carbohydrates. The USDA had indicated with their last food pyramid that we might have 10 to 12 servings a day of carbohydrates. Here are some of the recommended ones. Brown rice cakes, but 28. Carb, here we have 3 foods already near 30. Whole wheat pancakes, white rice, mashed potatoes, whole wheat spaghetti, rice noodles, angel food cake, corn flakes. None of these foods appear particularly unhealthy. None of them would cause us to be alarmed. But look at this score here. It's simply staggering. 298. Keep in mind, we'd like to be 50. We're 6 times that, and this is the reason most of us are overweight. By having these meatless smoothies, you have slashed this overall glucose load or carb load to an unimaginably low level. Here's how low, and here's how to dump the carb bombs with Mila. 298 is what we saw with the Western diet. 3 meatless smoothies a day gives you 51. 51 points. Right down exactly where you want to be. And it's why I like to encourage you to take the meatless smoothie. Now, all of us know that having a scoop or two of Mila makes us feel better and we're going to lose some weight. But the fact of the matter is there's still a lot of junk in that diet. Trust me. And by getting rid of that, having a pure substitution for this unbelievably nutritious Mila, I really want you to understand this, because by fundamentally understanding why you're not just adding this to your diet, but substituting it, you're going to find you have the best success you've ever had in terms of losing weight. Now, the next thing is what we call flamethrowers. We want to douse the flamethrowers. These lead to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, depression. I gave a talk a few months ago at Harvard, and that talk had to do with middle-aged women who are depressed. Most of them are overweight, and they are, according to the scientists up there, and this is not meant to be prejudicial, but a big inflammatory mess, which is to say, if you look inside, internally, they are inflamed. They feel terrible. So I want to drive this point home in terms of the flamethrowers. Inflammation. You would like to be plus 50 in terms of being anti-inflammatory. 1 single serving of pancakes, you're at minus 51. Add some cornflakes, minus 72. White bread, minus 89. Spaghetti, minus 141. As you can see, these are mostly white flour products that are highly inflammatory. Now we have a score of minus 1328, a staggering level of inflammation. You'll feel terrible with this level of inflammation. By contrast, let's look at our 3 Mila smoothies. Again, I want you to have a solid understanding of what you're putting into your system. Plus 834. So in terms of antioxidants, 834 points versus minus 1328. That's a 2,000 point difference. It's why when I get up in the morning here in this kitchen and go over and get my kale and blueberries and Mila and Greek yogurt or almond milk, I literally feel the best I've ever had. And it's why I love each and every one of you. Even if you don't need to lose weight, just so you feel the full power of Mila, is to try a Mila shake for a full day. You'll be amazed at what it does. Now, the 5th step is to make your brain feel great. Big part of this is omega-3s. Excessive omega-6 fatty acids may promote cardiovascular disease, cancer, inflammatory diseases, autoimmune disease, and depression. This list is from the National Institutes of Health, the most august scientific body in the world when it comes to medicine and health. And we see that excess omega-6 fatty acids put you at risk for heart disease, breast cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, asthma, colorectal cancer. Here's the ideal ratio, 1-to-1. This is what happens with a single tablespoonful of a vegetable. 46-to-1 instead of 1-to-1. Staggering how bad it is. Now look what happens if you were to add the omega-3s. You get into 3 servings of Mila smoothies in a day. Now the ratio is 3-to-1. An amazing, amazing difference. Take a look at this chart. Just look at the numbers here. Again, a single tablespoonful of safflower oil, 10,000 milligrams of omega-6. Just completely throws your day off. A single scoop of Mila, 4,900. 3 scoops of Mila, you're going to be at 15,000. Really, the only effective way of countering the Western diet is with Mila, because it's the only plant-based food that's going to give you the amount of omega-3s that you need to be able to counter that. So why is it we feel so good? Why is it when you go to Shine, everybody's happy? Why do they all feel good? They feel great because of Mila. So why does it make us happy? Look, we've got rid of that inflammatory mess inside of us with massive nutrients. The omega-3s, here's a key principle. Again, up at the Department of Psychiatry, Harvard, they have looked at how you make a brain feel great. And a big part of that is the lining for the actual neuron. Think of a neuron as a wire in your brain, and think of that as a nice wrap around it, a nice plastic wrapping around it. Well, if that frays, as it frays, the neuron doesn't work as well. The impulses don't go through as well. So omega-3s help to nourish that neuron. So you have a nice, fat, healthy coat to it. You have lots and lots and lots of nutrients going through there. You're able to make more of your neurotransmitters, and it just plain works better. A lot of complicated science, but again, it's why the brain feels so great with Mila. Other benefits we found, you can find these for yourselves as you go in the challenge. I'd ask you to see if your doctor won't take some before and after bloods. What we found last year with Rachel's group was that it lowered LDL, lowered fasting blood sugar. My true confessions, fasting blood sugar was as high as 99. 100 puts you at the pre-diabetes level. I'm down to 83 on Mila. Staggering difference. Inflammation, you'll find that it takes a couple months, but your inflammatory level, or CRP, comes down. Almost everybody has a drop in blood pressure. In fact, everybody that we saw in the clinical trial did, and also a drop in triglycerides. Now, to be clear, these are not claims. This is what you're likely to find. Get the blood work done before and afterwards, and these are the benefits you're likely to have. Now, what's the actual program? The actual program for a female is to have a breakfast smoothie, about 300 calories in the morning, have a lunch smoothie, have an afternoon snack. You don't have to, but if you feel you're going to give up the program and you need real food, have that afternoon snack. Have a dinner smoothie. Men could use another 400 calories. If you want to, review this with your doctor to find out exactly how many calories you want, but this gives us a 12 and a 1,600 calorie diet. Now, phase 2 is to accelerate with lunch. With lunch, what we find is that it gives you more nutrients, it gives you a little bit more calories, and it allows you to do a very powerful late afternoon workout. Finally, phase 3. This is, going backwards here, sorry. Phase 3 is the true Aztec diet. We have a wonderful book coming out at the end of this year, which is called The Aztec Diet. The key part of it, of course, is Mila. But once you've established the weight that you want to be at and you want to go back to real foods, we are advising the Aztec diet. Why? Because the Aztec foods, as we saw with Mila, were the very best of all time. So here are the Aztec foods. Sweet potato, black beans, sweet corn, corn tortillas, amaranth, cashews, jicama, guacamole, peppers, and Mila. Now look at the score here for carb load, 58 versus 298. A great way to be able to keep your carb load under control. Phase 4 is recovery. Look, I just finished Christmas vacation. I'm sure I packed 4 or 5 pounds on. I'm sure I packed 4 or 5 pounds over Thanksgiving. But my message is to you, don't worry about it. Don't worry if you fall off the wagon. If you go to a wedding, if you had a big vacation, if you put some weight on, come back Monday morning, start that meal of smoothie, and prepare to feel absolutely great.